This is my office's hamster called Bing Bong, and during the time of COVID-19 I was selected as the unlucky one to bring her home, to look after her, to comfort her, to give her food and to love on her. Aren't I lucky? Well, she's been stinking up my bedroom, and recently she actually escaped. Now she, funnily enough, is a 2-time escapee and has lived to tell the tale. I should give her a medal maybe. But basically, the first time, it wasn't my fault. She had a run-in with a magpie. This time, she escaped from the cage that I had her in, and she started roaming around my bedroom, and as try as I might, I could not find her. So for a couple of nights, all I could hear was her scurrying about, worrying about her trying to chew on some electrical wires and maybe get electrocuted in the process. But on the third night, she somehow found her way to a hole in the floorboards and decided, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to start foraging. I'm going to start looking for water and food, and I'm going to make a new home for myself down here away from Scott. As you can imagine, I was heartbroken, and so down she went, and she decided to start looking for food source, water source, and began foraging, making a new home for herself down there. But after a while, she must have realised that there is no food, there is no water, and underneath the floorboards is no place to call home. So she started trying to make her way back to where she knew there was safety, where she knew that there was love for her. So she came up to the opening of the hole and started poking her head through, but she's on the chubby side, not because I overfeed her, I promise you, she's just a bit chubby. And so she's trying to fit through the hole but can't quite do it, and I'm kneeling down by the hole encouraging her, saying, yes, come home. And eventually she pops out of the hole and runs all the way to the cage, because she knows that's where she is safe, that's where there's water, and that's where there's food. And that occasion made me think about life. It made me think about humanity and how, in a way, stay with me here, we're all a little bit like this hamster. The Bible teaches that every single one of us have sinned. That means we've made mistakes. We've done things and aligned ourselves with things that God does not stand for. And when we do that, sometimes we burrow ourselves deep into darkness. And like this hamster, sometimes we just can't get out of that darkness. And try as we might, there's just nothing we can do to get out of that darkness. I don't know if you can relate to that, but that's been the case for me in my life. There's been times when I've been stuck in this place and I can't get out. But the Bible teaches that God does not want us to be stuck in that hole, in that darkness, in that sin. The Bible teaches that God wants us to be free of that and be in relationship, in friendship with the living God that created this amazing universe that we're so privileged to live in. So, the Bible also teaches that God sent his one and only Son, Jesus, in order to make sure that happened. When Jesus came to earth, he went to the cross. He died for you and me. But when he died on the cross, he took upon himself all the darkness, the sin, the bad things that you and I have ever done, and destroyed its power forever when he died and rose again 3 days later. Now, what does that have to do with you and me? Well, because of what Jesus did on the cross, it means that we don't have to live in that hole. It means that we don't have to live in our sin and our darkness. Actually, we can come into his light. We can be in relationship with him. We can know him personally. And we can be set free from that darkness that so easily tries to trap us. But that is the amazing good news of the gospel. And I hope that it can be that you can encounter its truth and its light today.